Welcome, Kendall, to Mocktails. About time that we got this going, and I apologize that it took so long. I had a lot of things going on, and I seen you at some of the places actually. We had the baseball, and I saw you in the stands. And there's so many people at those things. It's hard to say hi to everybody, and I feel so bad. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't like to be around people.
You don't?
Like I used to be really, really sociable, and then I'm like, I think that's just like insecurities. I think a little bit like, what do people think? What are they saying? I think so. I'm like, if you don't say hi to me, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I am too. It's like sometimes I feel like people think I'm being a jerk, but I'm actually not. I'm like, I just see so many people. I'm like, once I start saying hi, it's gonna turn into a big ol' hi fest. So,
Yeah.
so I kind of just say like hi from afar, and I'm like, or a nod, and
Yeah.
I got some things to do. I was like, I gotta watch my son. So, but
Yeah.
what was I gonna say? Oh, do you think that whole thing of like I find myself sometimes being like hating being in a crowd because of some of the like past things that have happened, you know what I mean, with certain individuals, and I'm like, oh, I just don't feel comfortable right now, or are they going back to that one time? Like me, you and I, we first met at my mom's apartment.
hmm
You were her
Yeah.
neighbor. We would just like I was back from college and we would just like party.
We would party.
I
Yeah, that's a lot of times when they're like, Kendall, don't you remember? Da da da. And like for like I have a hard time remembering a lot of things. People bring it up. Like I don't know if God just erased those memories of mine, but I just am like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even remember, and probably which is a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. I know. And I probably overlook or overthink some of this stuff. I'm like, they probably don't even care. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, did my mom ever cook you food?
I think she did. Like I fairly, it's hard for me to remember way back then too. But yeah, I remember, and I worked with her for Brenda, so like we got really close and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
she was a really good lady.
Yeah, yeah, she's
I think she did cook for me actually. Now that you say that,
What'd you think?
it was good. She's a good cook.
Oh, yeah, the best. Um,
You're the
I
best.
always tell her open up a restaurant, but yeah, I've seen my grandma used to own a restaurant, and you have to live at them places. You know what I mean? Like you can't just, oh, okay, guys, food's ready, and go ahead. Like my grandma was always there. Rolling tortillas. My mom was always there rolling tortillas 5 in the morning, and then she'd be there until 10 o'clock at night rolling tortillas, man. So I was like, oh, that might not be fun for you, mom, but who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But
She probably has secret recipes she doesn't want to give out
dude,
either.
no, not even. I'm like, mom, how do you make this? How do you make that? She's like, I throw in a handful of this. I throw in a hand.
hmm
She doesn't measure. I think it's
Yeah, I think a lot of Mexican women don't.
that's what I was just gonna say. I was like, I think it's a Mexican thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, they're like the recipe's like baking soda, whatever, whatever, but then I don't say like how much, like a handful of this, a pinch of that, and then
Mm-hmm.
it never turns out the same.
Never, never. But you
Yeah.
have quite the story, I think, Kendall, and I think our viewers are gonna really um, appreciate this one. And first of all, I want to say, I really commend you, the courage that it takes, to even talk about this stuff. And if you need a moment at any moment, just go ahead and take
Okay.
take your time. And if you have any questions for me, just let me know. Like if you're talking about something and say, have you ever experienced that? It's fine. I'll answer as well. But there was this. I wanted to go over this one thing that I heard on social on Facebook, I think, and it was you go to church now, right?
hmm
Yeah. So
Yep. I go
you're
to Sunrise. Yep.
cool. So you're a believer, and
I
it
am.
and it said and it hit me hard. The devil calls us by our sins, but Jesus calls us by our name. So you're,
That's amazing.
I'm not the piece of crap, that I think I am. I'm Dane. So I want you during this time to think I'm Kendall. You are not those things that you're talking about. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let you start it up, and wherever you feel comfortable, go ahead and
Okay.
take it away.
All right. Well, I'm a believer, and I'm Kendall, and let's see. I don't even know really where to start. I think like my struggles have been throughout my whole life. I've gotten DUIs. Lost my license for 30 years. Cannot drive. I get it back in 2030. So that's been a challenge. And then there were times where I chose to drove. Got a couple DUSs. Um, so I started, well, I don't know, back in high school, partied a lot, got into my parents' wine cellar, drank, smoked weed. Um, and then I caught my fourth DUI and I went to prison for 6 months. I got evaluated to York and then I did a 6 months intensive treatment in McCook, Nebraska. And that's when I moved into that little apartment by your mom's. I was on parole, had an ankle monitor, got introduced to spice, so I smoked a lot of that because I couldn't smoke weed. And let's see, and I didn't. And then after that, my alcohol addiction kind of like faded. Then I got introduced to got into a really bad abusive relationship. Um, I like dabbled with a lot of drugs throughout my life, like coke. Methamphetamines is my choice of, or my, I guess I should say that's what I struggled with the most. Um, and I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years and we were heavy users at that time. So, yeah, that's kind of like where I would not say where it all began, but that's when it's just started to get really worse. Um, let's see. Uh, I don't know. So that was for like 10 years of my life, with being in an abusive relationship, using heavy drugs. Um, I don't know how far, like, then there's like another gap. And then I finally left the guy and then found another relationship, still using with him. And then I caught a DFS case and we had to deal with the DFS for like a year. Then I decided to go to treatment and I did 30 days in treatment in Loveland, Colorado. During this whole time, I didn't have a relationship with God. And I think that why I never recovered, or like my family was never into church. We never went to church. And I didn't really find my relationship with God until like this year. So I'm like way new to everything, to like now I pray, like totally have changed my life with my relationship with God. My boyfriend that I currently have now got diagnosed with testicular cancer, and he's been struggling for the last 2 years. He had brain cancer, or a brain tumor, I guess, and he had brain surgery. And right now he's suffering from brain radi or it's called radiation necrosis. And then he was put on hospice, and they gave him like a certain amount of time, that a lifespan, like, which we don't know. We never know when we're gonna go, but and then he recovered and he's still here with us. So I've like dealt with grief, being sober, which is crazy because if I didn't have God, I think I would have already been off the deep end. But like, I seriously feel that God took that addiction away from me, and it's so crazy because like when before my addiction, before I found God, I'd be like, you guys are crazy, like you're your own God, like he can't make changes, you got to do it for yourself. Like I was really stubborn in that, but now I'm like, You need God in your life. You need God in your life or you're not going to change. Like I'm over here preaching to everybody. So definitely it's crazy how like my whole life has changed in this last year. And I mean, we could go into more like detail or whatever if you have any questions, but like definitely struggled with alcohol, losing my driver's license. I was a chaser. I chased every drug. If I didn't have one, I'd go to the next. I'm currently caught another DFS case a year ago, which my house got raided, kids taken away. So I have a DFS case as of right now. It's still open, but my kids are home. Um, so they're back in the house. I moved out of the place that got raided. I have like a beautiful home now. It's a little condo. And I have like 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. So it's really nice where I'm at right now. Um, yeah, like subway recovery's been a life changer too. I have like the best support there. I have friends that I used to party with go there now. It's just crazy that like Tia, like the last person that you did your podcast with or whatever, we're really close now, and so we're just big support team there. I have like a little list right here what I wanted to say.
Hey, don't be. Yeah, it's good to have
Like,
notes.
okay, let me just jot down my whole life on one single little piece of paper.
Hey, no, if
um,
something pops up, a memory or anything, yeah, go for it. But yeah, use your list.
yeah. So, I don't know. And then like my parents, like I've been doing my person, my inventory, and making amends with them, and I think that was like the hardest thing to do, just because, uh,
No, take your
like
time.
you know that my parents, my dad, my mom have been like huge support, so my support system, and having to make that amends with them was like really hard, and I just was like, Dad, I just have something to tell you that I'm just sorry for everything. And he just said, like, you're my daughter. I will always love you. And which I knew that, but it was just so different to hear that from them. And it felt so good. And that weight just like lifted off of me just to hear it. And even like my daughter, I put her through a lot of stuff. I chose like the chose the kids' dad over her and drugs and stuff, and just to make amends with her. And of course they're always like, oh yeah, I've already forgiven you, but just for them to be like, Mom, I forgive you. And like my dad, just like I've done a lot of crappy things to my dad. I would sell drugs out of the bar. I would steal from him. I would trade all of his alcohol bottles for drugs. Like I've done some really crappy things, and just to admit them and ask for amends has been great. I mean, it feels great. Like that, all that weight off my heart has been lifted, and so that was hard to make those amends. And I'm sure there's more people that I probably have hurt, but that'll take time to make amends with. Um, yeah. And like dealing with grief is like also another hard thing. Like knowing that someone that you love is on his last days has been like a huge struggle. And there's no cure for radiation necrosis. He was on hospice, and then they put him back through treatments and stuff. So, and it's just like getting worse and stuff. So it was just hard to see someone just and he's also struggles through with an addiction too. So no better way to numb yourself like he's used, and he's struggling now with also. So he's currently not in the home due to my DFS case, because oh, the DFS people do like these hair follicle tests and stuff. So the
Mm.
kids came up dirty with hair follicle tests. So Raymond had to move out of the home. So he's not here. So that's just like difficult. I'm not there for him. I don't know if he's struggling, if he's had episodes, if where he's at, if his mom's taking care of him. And so, yeah, I guess this last year has been a rough year. And to be sober is just like, what?
Yeah.
I can't believe that I am like I'm doing it. Like it's crazy. And they people say like, Kendall, you're great, and I don't really like realize it. Like I just feel like it's a have to kind of thing. Like I just get up, have a routine, do it, and I'm just doing it and not realizing like, whoa,
Yeah.
what have I done for the last, I don't know, 10, 20 years of my life?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
seems like you've struggled a lot, and you know, I ge- I heard it in church one time, or maybe it was my grandma. My grandma always had the wisest words, and she still does. And she's actually part of the reason that I'm so spiritual, And she told me, if there's no struggle in the world, how are we going to see God's glory? So
Hmm.
the struggle is there for a reason, and right now you're showing the glory of God and what He
Amen.
can do, and it takes people like us to show that. And unfortunately, not everybody chooses the path, and they succumb to it, and but like the Bible says, the path is narrow, and the path to destruction is very wide. So it's very easy to get off the path. And right now you're a year sober, right? Aren't you? Or you're in.
You're in 3 months.
Awesome. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks. Thanks.
Let me clap that. Yes. No, yes, you should be very proud, Kendall. Like seriously.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and once alcohol or any addiction starts destroying everything around you, it starts to seek you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once that's gone, then you start feeling the effects come to you, and you're like, "Oh crap, it's trying to take me out now." You know? And
Hmm.
I think you started to realize that, and thank goodness you have. And man, it is not easy. So again, I'm very proud of you and the steps that you're taking. What what
Thanks.
what when you first started, did you just think it was something fun, or were you trying to forget something? Like when you first started partying in high school, like you said.
I just think that like, well, so when I was 16, my mom kicked me out of her house because I was hanging out with like a different crowd and started cocaine when I was like 16. Then she's like, pack your shit. You're going to go live with your dad. So then I came here to Torrington, which I hung out with a better crowd, kind of like dentist's daughters and banker daughters, and played softball. I played softball in Torrington. And then we just like partying. I think we just had like access to alcohol. So it was more of like a fun thing. I don't think I started like numbing myself until I was with my kid boys' dad. I think that's when like the abuse started to come, and then I just didn't feel my self-worth. And so that's when I think like that's when it started to kind of like actually just become like a numbing process. I think like with meth and that's what I like. Alcohol, gagged and daddled with that, obviously. Lost my license, got 4 DUIs, and struggled with that for a while. But I think just through high school, I think it was just for fun, just to party and have a good time. Like I don't think I never felt that I was like, oh my God, I need to get a bottle and be able to function during the day. Like I don't feel like my alcohol addiction was that extreme. I think it more was more with my other drug habit where I had to have it. And like when Raymond was going through his cancer treatment, I obviously wasn't working, and so I definitely had to supposedly make a living. So I definitely ruined other people's lives. I used obviously was making money and being able to um, fix my addiction, like or just be able to survive, make amends, be able to have whatever and make money. Um, so towards the end of my addiction, I think I was just doing it. I got addicted to like the money part. Like was making a lot of money, and we didn't have to worry about a lot of things. So I think like when I was sitting in jail when my house got raided, I was like, okay, I'm done. Prayed God, please take this away from me. And then I got out and then have it since. So I think towards the end it wasn't even about the high, it was just about the hustle, going on trips, whatever. That was my high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And you know, I mentioned this in one of my prior episodes. They were like, "What? So what'd you do to like settle down?" You know, because I never really. It wasn't like one thing. You know, I alcohol just always led to something that was
Yeah.
that I was struggling with. It was another issue, and it was just me being a horrible partner in life. I would cheat a lot. I was a cheater, and I would use alcohol to get to women, and that's all I wanted to do was just womanize, 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 and that was so toxic, man, and it was just ruining my life. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it wasn't alcohol that really, it was the methamphetamine, but you drank and then they would probably lead to that poor decision of, oh, I'm just gonna do, one hit of meth, or however you did it, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely, it like stages, once you start one thing, it's like, okay, then it leads to that underlying issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes
I was so
sense.
No, it does. I was so stubborn, like, marijuana is not a gateway drug. But like that's kind of where it started. Like I was smoking pot, and then I got to alcohol. Like it kind of did lead into a lot of other like, you know.
Oh yeah, and it's just, it's so difficult, man, to understand everybody's issue. And I want, ever since I've started doing this, I'm like, it's addiction just doesn't have one definition. Like everybody has their own struggle, in their own way. I I've interviewed some people that need it at work. I don't need it at work, but that doesn't mean that I'm less of a, I
Yeah.
guess, alcoholic, or however you want to say it. Or there's some people that, did it every day after work, or they did it only on the weekends, and it could be drugs too. And
Hmm.
it could be porn. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and everybody had their own way of, they had their own addiction, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And
Hmm.
it's hard to try to cure that, when nobody has the keys. And
Yeah.
and
I think it does take like it has to be on your own time too, because I'm like, well, why isn't this person changing? Or, and I think like this was just my time to just give it up. Like I think like with Raymond, I'm like, like when is God or when is someone gonna talk to you? When is it gonna be your time? But I just am like, when it's their time, it's their time. Like with my situation, I have kids and I have fought and fought for my kids. Like they're the most important thing right now. And so like definitely they were a big part of my recovery, but I couldn't do it for them. I had to just find it inside of me because I tried that before to change for my kids and just I was probably clean for 8 months, relapse. So I had a different way of approaching this go round.
yeah, yeah, and the one, like you said, the one key thing for me was just God. That was the only
Yeah.
thing missing in my life, man. And a lot of people, well, yeah, a lot of people don't want to hear that, and they say, Dane, how'd you change? And I'm like, God. They're like, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, like you were saying, you're like, come on, dude, you're
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
God. Like,
Yeah.
no, that can't be the answer. And I'm like, no, seek him and you will see.
Yes.
You will understand if you seek him, and it changes everything. Um,
Yeah.
oh,
I believe that to the fullest.
and you get to the point, and it sounds like you got to that point to where you're just sick of it. You're
Yeah.
so sick of it, and once you have nothing left, you just turn to God. You're like, okay, I've tried everything else. Help me, please.
Right. And it's nice to see, like they say, like leave the past in the past, but it's nice to like look back at my past for this last year, like, whoa, like everything is just like falling into place. I feel like I have a purpose. Do a relapse prevention class in the mornings, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but Becky is my teacher. You know who I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Anyways,
No.
her last name was funny, Becca Sabraza or whatever. Anyways, she's like, Kendall, like, oh, I'm so, and then she's like offered me to do like be a peer specialist or whatever to like advocate for addicts and stuff. So it's nice that I've gotten opportunities, and once I finish my 12-step program, I can be somebody's sponsor. And I think it's always nice to like have to talk to somebody that's been through it, because it's hard. It's really
Mm-hmm.
hard. And like all of these ladies that are going through a DFS case, like it's a struggle. They like, I'm not saying like what this DFS is, it's difficult and they like to jump through a lot of hoops, and I'm not saying my case has been perfect, but it's like one thing after another, and it gets so discouraging to a point where I could just see the moms be like, I'm done, dog. I can't do this. So like I really want to help. I really do want to help people that struggle with anything, because it's so hard. But it could be so easy. Like, like I look back, like it was rough and like things that I've been through, but I'm like, it wasn't really that hard. Like, you definitely have to change the people that you hang out with. Their circle of friends has to definitely change. You got to have that support, your family, different group of people that good support, and definitely, well, first of all, God, right? But
Yeah.
those are my three things.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You definitely got to stay away from certain places, and people. Not saying that they're bad people or anything. Like they're still people I care about, but it's just different interests now. You know,
Hmm.
and it like I said, people have a different level of that stuff. So like maybe somebody can do that at a minimal rate and you can't. You know what I mean? It's like I can't you go over the top or I go over the top, and it's just not a good place to put myself.
Right.
Um,
I always thought like, oh, nobody knows that I'm high. Like I could do this. And I'm like, my manager at my dad's bar or whatever, she's like, I love the sober Kindle. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how did you even know? Like now I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I was trying to cover it up, and you could tell.
yeah.
You could just like I was not, I thought, oh, I'm a functioning addict. I could do this to go to work, and my kids are taken care of, which I believe like my kids they were like fed, clothed, went to school. My daughter struggled when she was a freshman because she was like a new student when she was in eighth grade, and she came here in Torrington and just using and dealing with Raymond. Wasn't going to school, just like struggling and stuff like that. So, and like I didn't realize like where was I this whole entire time? Obviously, I wasn't in their lives as I should have been.
The and you know that like the support is so you don't see the support you have until you didn't really actually just kind of slow down. And my parents too, like they were there. Like just even when I was sad or when I was, you know, lonely. Um, Sometimes that stuff gets lonely. Like I said, like I would ruin relationships, and it just be me, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna end up alone for the rest of my life if I don't settle down or stop this. And since then, I haven't ever thought about cheating. I haven't thought about another woman. I haven't my fiance. I'm happily engaged, and props to her, man. Cause she, I mean, she could have left me at it, and given up on me, and she hasn't, and neither have my parents, and I'm so grateful for her. And now we're gonna have another child, and
Yeah, I saw that.
oh
Congratulations.
yeah, but this isn't about me. This is about
Yeah.
you. Um, but it's crazy. You see the people that care, and you see the
Hmm.
people that actually love you, and man, you just don't understand until you're done, and you say sorry, and you start to straighten up, and your dad, your mom, or yeah, it feels good when they say, I still love you.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if anybody's out there listening, like, yeah, tell the people you're sorry, and forgive yourself more than anything too. I'm sure that's been
Yeah,
hard.
that's a big one.
Has it been hard for you to forgive yourself? Amends with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I hold a lot of guilt, like putting my kids through all of this, like the boys. And my daughter's like, you don't even punish my brothers because like I'm very soft hearted when it comes to them, just because like I'm like, oh, I can't hurt my babies. I can't hurt. But I'm getting better at being the parent that I should and stuff like that. But definitely just forgiving myself for everything is, yeah. And I just like ask God, to help me to forgive myself, and I know He's forgiven me, so that's amazing.
Yeah, that's the main part, is like he's forgiven you. What else do you need? So you
Right.
you confess and give it all up. So you said your drug of choice was meth.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been around it or anything really. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't mind, what would a typical day be like as I guess, a meth addict, right? I don't want to.
Right. No, that's fine. So definitely like I never slept, so I never like to sleep. So like there was never really time where I like rested. Um and as like the beginning of my addiction, it was always like, what am I gonna get? My next high, how I'm gonna get it. Like that was like always constantly on my mind. Um and really like meth addicts, like for me, I would like have a lot of energy. So like I would clean, I would cook. I never got really like, I don't know. I went through so many phases. Like I just like had a lot of like crafty things that I would like get it really into. Um Meth addicts stay in their homes. Like I was like pretty much never really want to go anywhere, just because like the paranoia kind of thing. Um and then like towards the end, like I said, I like had enough, so I wasn't chasing it. I was just like making sure like my circle of friends, like I was always making sure that they were taken care of. Um, I don't know, like I hate to say, like I don't even want to say like meth's a good thing, obviously, but like my laundry was kept up. I love doing I love doing laundry. Like I don't know, but I definitely was a picker. I picked at my face. I have like scars from my addiction. And like there are points where I would always just tell my dad lies like, oh, I'm on my period. That's why my face is so broken out. Like
Oh,
I would just like, so like definitely I was like a really bad picker. I mean, that's disgusting to say, but anyways, I don't know. I guess I was like the life of, and I karaoke for like 12 hours. Like, I don't, yeah. Like, I just think like I was like, I never slept. And it finally, like they said, like it was like being for like the first like 3 4 months of my recovery or like trying to get clean, I went to bed at like 5 o'clock, and because like at night was like the time I like to use the most, like get the kids in bed, boom, that was my time to get high. So like definitely my nights I used quite a bit, and then was just like tweaked out in my mind to get the kids ready to school. They went to school, and then there was the whole day for me just to like get high, make money. Um, so like for my first like 3 months, I just slept.
Oh wow, I bet she's so exhausted.
Yeah. And then I gained quite a bit of weight. So like everyone's like, "Oh, you look so good." And I think like that's right now is kind of my struggle right now is like I lost all that it wasn't even like you lose like the good parts when you're high, like your butt, your boobs, like where'd that go? And then like you get sober and then you gain it all back. And then so my new like we did take these like chips like for celebrate recovery, like what you want to like work on, and definitely now I'm working on like choosing a better like healthy lifestyle. Like there's no pop in my house, just eating better. I need to be like more active and stuff just because I feel like now that that's my struggle now is like, oh, my parents, my weight, like my teeth are all messed up, like it costs like $6,000. Like who has that type of money? I don't have like insurance. So definitely took a whole toll on my body. That's for sure being a meth addict.
Yeah. It sounds like you said like you were productive on it. Like you were
Very. Yeah, I'd be like outside like at 5 in the morning or 3 in the morning, like picking weeds, just weird shit. Like, what am I doing? Like, can you wait till at least daytime to be out? Or, just like doing off the wall things, which whatever. I think I just couldn't sleep. And so I don't know. I did some weird, crazy things when I was high, to be honest.
when I was in
Like nothing bad, but just like weird.
yeah, yeah, when I was in college, they would do stuff like that or ingest or take stuff like that to study more,
Yeah.
and they were so productive. Like let me like
Mm-hmm.
everything done, and but it wasn't great for you. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
wasn't meth. I think it was more like they would hand out like Adderall like crazy or whatever it is, that makes you stay up longer, and they would get stuff done. So when you were like, man, don't want to say I was productive on it. Well, you kind of are. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it helps you get stuff done, but it's just not good for your body because then you're not
No.
sleeping, and you're sleep deprived, and yeah. So
And then some people like when they don't sleep for a certain amount of time, you start to see things, you start to see shadows. That's when people get like really paranoid. Like, thank God I never got to that point, but there were people that I would hang out with that would get paranoid and I'd be like I couldn't do it. That's scary, like to just be on the lookout or
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, I
What
would go through a lot of phases. Like I drew like all kinds of crazy stuff. I was a big drawer. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was so fucked up drawing those pictures.
oh my gosh. What was the longest you stayed up, you think?
I stayed up for like 7 days straight.
No way.
Yeah. That's when I started to see things like you see like crazy lights on the side of your like I don't know, they were just like everywhere, but it was like 7 days.
Oh, so after them 7 days and you decide to like stop, is the come down so horrible? Like, do you sleep for three
Um,
days? Like,
yep.
do you really?
Yeah, you're usually out for 3 days. I probably did that when I was younger. I didn't have kids at the time. Like I dabbled with meth throughout not my whole life, but most of my life or whatever. So, and then after your crash, like you're down for like 3 days and then you wake up, then you feel like crap. And then you're ready to like get high again because that's just what us meth or what I did, like whatever. But yeah, 7 days was the longest.
I think that's like a big thing of, let's say, just keep doing it, like why people keep doing it is because that come down off anything. Like, what do you do when you're
Yeah.
hungover? you go and get a hair of the dog. Like you go
Yep.
get a red beer or a red, or a Bloody Mary or something just to level off or kind of take it away. And then you just end up, and then you keep drinking. You know what I mean? Or you just keep
Right.
partying. So like, yeah.
That's kind of like the same thing too. Like if I didn't have meth, I would definitely drink to take that edge off. I
Mm.
wouldn't get drunk, but it would take that edge off, or I would just smoke some weed. Like I definitely chase there. If I didn't have one, I would go find the other. Um, but yeah, I just continued to stay high.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I've never really talked to anybody about methamphetamine, so I appreciate you sharing this.
Yeah.
Um, Karaoke.
Yeah. Big fan.
What songs would you sing?
Oh, like Neon Moon. And then so, yep. And so, I have a thing for Mexican men, okay? So, like, I learned how to like sing Spanish songs. So I have like Spanish songs that I know. And the other night I tried to karaoke and I was like, okay, I don't know. This is a good idea for me because I thought it'd be like a huge trigger. Oh my God, I had so much fun. I was like,
Oh,
I still got it.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I have like a JBL speaker and a microphone. I had the whole setup, and my daughter likes to karaoke. Like, yeah, we have our songs. We have like a song that we sing. What is it? Bruno Mars or whatever. I don't know. Some Bruno Mars, and we sing a duet. Like we sing a duo together. Like it's crazy. But yeah, karaoke is fun. But I was like a lot of things that I did when I was high. It's like is it gonna trigger me? Am I gonna wanna get before I do it? So it was really like, okay, I'm ready. I think I'm ready to do it. So I think that's like was a huge challenge to like do certain things that I would do high. Like I haven't tried to like draw because I don't think that'll trigger me. But I did finally was like, okay, let's do this karaoke thing sober, and it was fun. It was fun.
That's awesome. I love karaoke. Yes. It's so fun.
Yeah, my dad has Yo, Dad has karaoke at his bar and something when I work. I'm like, okay, go put a song in for me. And then they're like, I'll come out from the kitchen and sing the little Neon Moon song.
Do you always sing Neon Moon?
Yeah, and then I like there's like that CCR. Have you ever seen the rain? I'll do that one. I have like top like probably six karaoke songs that I like to do.
Which one do you like to do the most? What's your favorite one that you think you sound that just
Probably the Neon Moon one.
Neon Moon?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, for real. I don't even know how it goes. That
I,
got me on the spot.
I'm trying to think
You
too.
start. Yeah.
Okay. How does it go? When the sun goes down
Oh, keep going.
on my what is it on my side of town? Isn't that how I get this
Yep.
lonesome feeling?
I'm feeling.
What does he say after
Keep
that? What
going.
does he
Why am I?
say?
Oh, I got me all confused.
What does he say after lonesome feeling? Got a lonesome
So
feeling.
I'm feeling. Let me just see if I can just get it real quick for you,
we're
because
probably
I know it.
we're probably so far off. Like,
I know, like you have me off, and I'm like, that's my favorite karaoke song. Like you don't even know it.
that's the only part I know is when the sun goes down.
On my side of town, the lonesome feeling.
something through the door, ain't it? Or
Yeah, here we go. I can sing it for you real quick.
all right.
The sun goes down on my side of town. A lonesome feeling comes through my door. The whole turns
Blue.
blue.
Yeah, way
There
to
we go.
go.
Yay. That's funny.
Blue.
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
Oh my
that's
god,
awesome.
that is sweet. You gotta lighten up the mood in these types of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
for sure. That was awesome.
treatment. I heard Tia's story of treatment. Did you listen to Tia's?
Yeah, I did. She learned a lot in her treatment. Like, so my 30-day treatment, and like it was good. Like I got like the tools. Like I said, I needed God in my life. Like I really needed him to like I could tell you the 12-step program. I could tell you what to like I could tell you everything, but I just never put the everything that I've learned into works, I think. You know what I mean? So I mean treatment was nice. I met like quite a few people. I think I was more like, when is it? Cigarette time? We don't like dad said, get back on cigarettes. Like I need to go outside. Like that was like, but I mean, it was nice. Like I wasn't ready at the time. I guess I just needed to go to treatment to get my kids back with my first DFS case. Went to treatment for 30 days, got my kids back, and that was my goal. Like yes, of course, I was like, okay, I'm ready to change. I need to go. I need help. I need some type of help. Went to treatment, got my kids back, relapsed in 8 months.
Mm, yeah. Well, you went 8 months though.
Yeah,
That's good for just 30 days. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, man, you're a trooper.
yeah. Yeah, I was pretty down on myself because I was like, man, if I could have just like I have like those alumni or whatever where they're like, oh, the people that I went to treatment with, they're going on like 2 years. I'm like, man, that could have been me. But they say there's a lot of people relapse, and that's just part of like their recovery, their journey to be like, oh, okay. I just like my biggest fear is like, I don't want to have to deal with that guilt if I were to relapse. Like, I would feel like I just couldn't imagine feeling after the fact, I guess.
Yeah. And that's when you know you got the spirit in you. You start feeling guilt about things that you used to not care or have guilt about, you know?
Yeah,
Oh man,
that's
yeah.
what that is.
It's now you know what's wrong and what's right, and so you're there even if you did, which I'm not saying you're going to. You know where to go and you know which path to get back on. So and
Yeah,
you know which path you don't want to be on. So but that
yeah.
8 months after that, that's cool. And you said that was in Loveland?
Yeah, I went to Loveland, Colorado. My parents paid 30 grand cash money for me to go, and they said that I wouldn't have to pay the back if I stayed sober throughout the whole entire time, or like, for the rest of my life. So I'm in the hole probably about 15 grand after relapsing but anyways, yeah, so it was good. I don't know if I think of myself at recovery is like my recovery right now. Like I'm really focused and I'm more attentive and like what God is teaching me instead of like, your daily tools and
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
How did they find that place?
So a lady, her name was Erin. She's like, she works not at the DFS office, but she works in the rehabilitation, whatever I can say that word. But she was like, hey, I was like, I need help. I need to find somewhere to like get treatment done. And she said, here's a good spot. And so it's called North Point Recovery. And it was nice. I had my own room, big sliding doors. It was pretty high class
Really?
place. Yeah, and then
Wow.
we got to go out on little trips and we got to go like to the little lake that was there in Loveland. So it was really nice. Like you definitely as a meth addict, everything's really like cloudy, foggy. I would say like your vision, probably because your pupils are like the size of this. But anyways, like after you're sober, like everything is so brighter. It's so clear. Everything looks you just see differently. That's weird, but you definitely see everything like, whoa, not so dull and crummy. And like, it was nice to kind of experience that in treatment. Like, whoa, like it's green out here.
Yeah, the grass is definitely greener. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What do you remember when you first walked into treatment? Like what was going through your mind and how was like what did you experience there?
So like it was crazy. They like drug tested me and like I had like fentanyl in my system. Okay, so before I went to treatment, okay, I was like, I'm having the biggest, I don't even want to say this, but I had the biggest meth party. I was like, I'm
Oh,
just gonna get crazy, get it out of my system. I'm gonna go to treatment the following day. So I go to treatment and they're like, you got fentanyl in your, so obviously I was using meth that they cut fentanyl with. And so they treated me as like this like heavy user, so they give you like a week and they detox you or whatever. So and during that week I just slept and then finally like came to, got on my meds, and then I started going to classes and stuff. But for like the first like 3 months I was just like they just kind of, I don't know if they drugged me up, but I was just kind of like, just they gave me a whole bunch of sleeping pills just to sleep, to take all the edge off, just because they thought I was gonna have like crazy withdrawals from fentanyl and stuff. But
yeah.
never tried straight fentanyl, just it was just cut with the methamphetamines, which is crazy.
It's scary, huh? Because
You don't,
all it
yeah,
takes
you
is
don't know
one.
what's in it.
All it takes is one bad rip, man, and you gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no,
cut.
that's scary. I like glad I didn't get into that, like,
Yeah.
or wasn't aware I was using that.
Yeah, like they cut it wrong or something, and it's too high of a dose, and then bam, yeah, that's taking a lot of people. Well, I'm glad it didn't take you though. So
I've seen quite a few people who are in prison now due to like, like either it was death or, and I'm glad like they not that they're in prison, but like that saved their lives or they probably wouldn't be here today because it's a scary drug.
was prison a lot more different than Loveland?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like I don't know. You had to wear all like the little prison uniforms. But I worked in a religious library. It's crazy. I worked in a religious library, but didn't seek God then. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, like I'm all working in a religious and did that, and that was like one of my jobs. And it's crazy that I didn't even like. What am I doing? Like, he's showing, giving me a sign, probably like, hello, right here, but never picked up the Bible, nothing while I was in treatment.
Wow.
I know.
Were
That's
you
crazy.
okay? So this might be a big point. Were you seeking him at the time?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I was,
See?
to be honest. Like,
Yeah. Is
maybe, but
isn't it crazy? Like you can be surrounded by all that stuff, but if you're not actively seeking for him, you won't find him. You know what I mean? But he's
yeah.
there. He's there, you know? So, and he's going to treat you like you and I would treat somebody. If somebody's looking for us, we're going to know, hey, they're there looking for us. I'm going to go acknowledge them. But if they're not, we're not going to bother that person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I wasn't.
he loves us so much to give us our space, to give us our, hey, they don't want to talk to me, that's fine, I'm gonna respect
Hmm.
that, I'm gonna love them for that. Like, it's just crazy that you're around all that stuff
Yep. It
and
just was like, nope.
still didn't find them.
Didn't find him. Yeah, it makes
Wow.
me feel like, why did I find him then? But it just wasn't my time. Like, I just feel like timing is like everything. That this is my time. This is my time. This is where I have him in my life. My heart open to him. Like, I opened my heart to him, and he found me. Or I found
Hmm.
him. He's already
Yes,
right.
you found him. Yeah.
That's right.
you know you hear a lot of the stuff like, well, where was God then, or
Yeah.
where was your God then? And it's like, he ain't gonna just fix it. This is part of the world that we live in, and it's pain and suffering comes with it. And if we don't want his help or we don't want to find him, he won't force himself upon us, because
Right.
he gives us our free will. And if
Right. Even like with death, like since we've been dealing with Raymond's his medical issues and stuff, like we kind of had to come to like when God's ready, and like I've had people that I've like encountered that they've lost daughters and stuff, and they're like, why God? Why God? Like, God didn't do that. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, you don't
nope.
question God. Like, He doesn't do anything to hurt you. Like, He loves you. Like, He's not out to hurt people, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well,
So it is hard to when they question God. Like, why did God take somebody away from me? And like, it just, it's hard to deal. You have to see it a different view. It's, you
yeah,
know, He's
yeah.
not here. He's not down here hurting us. That's for sure.
No, there's another ruler on this earth, and he is not very
That's right.
nice. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, he's not doing that. That's what happened when sin came into the world. Ugliness came into the
Hmm.
world, and now unfortunately we got to live through all that. Because somebody took a bite out of an apple or what.
Hmm. Yeah.
Somebody sinned, and now we got to deal with all the
Hmm.
death and pain and suffering, but we can deal with that and still believe because we
Yeah.
got faith, and we've already been through that, Kendall, and so have you, man. Yeah, that had to
Yeah.
be
So I'm
tough.
gonna get baptized this summer. Me and Jada are gonna get baptized. So I haven't been baptized. So I'm really excited for
Nice.
that. And yeah, they said, well, we gotta kind of wait till it's a little nicer unless you want to be dunked in the bathtub. And I'm like, no, I want to be like experience the whole river lake thing. So yeah, this summer we're gonna get baptized. So I'm excited.
Oh, I bet. I'm excited for you. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
get baptized again. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I you know, you don't need it to be saved, but you wanted people to know who you're serving. So that's
Hmm.
awesome. That good for you, Kendall. I got one question for you, and then we can wrap this up.
Okay. Don't make me sing again. Just kidding.
When the sun goes down.
That's funny.
I want prison. So, I mean, 24-hour lockdown, or how does that work in there? What was a day in the life like in prison? Like,
So, like, my parents gave me like really hard love, right? So I had to sit in Scottsbluff County Jail for a good 6 months before I got sentenced, and that was hard. I think just you're all in your head, you're all in your head, and at that time, I didn't have a relationship with God, so it was a really struggle having to do phone calls, hearing your kids' voice on the other end, missing out on a lot of stuff. Should have been there for that was difficult. Then when I went to prison, I got like classified for like 30 days since I was just at low risk. Then I went to a treatment center, so which it was more like open spaces. There were even guys there, but like the people that would go to this recovery, it was like their next step to like a work release. So dealt with like a lot of people that have been locked up for long, long periods of time, and like it's a lot of alone time. That's like I don't really like I just like that's where I struggle. Like that's where I wish I had God like to help me get through things and everything's gonna be okay. And um so it was just a lot of lonely nights and just like I had so much guilt and I'm missing out on my daughter's life. My boys weren't born at the time. Um so just like missing out on her everything, like her for like she was probably like, oh, I want to say like 3 years old. So I
yeah.
missed out on like a lot of things like that. So I would just like my experience was just, and then like you have to find like your little cliques, and it's so crazy because like I like cling to Mexicans for some reason. Like I just got in with like the Mexican clan or whatever, and like this one chick was like a West or 18th Streeter, and she was like the girl that like fixed all the radios. Crazy, but like I always like seem to like venture off to like I always told my kids that I was born Mexican. They're like, Mom, you're white. I'm like, no, I'm Mexican and stuff.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah, that was like my little group was like I didn't really like white girls. Definitely experienced different races in there, that's for sure.
yeah.
Like being in. like from a small town, you don't see much of different races, you know, so just dealing with like, but I never like got like no fights, like nobody really like bullied me. I think it just kind of like I picked the right people to protect me, that's for sure. Like, oh my God, who's the toughest Mexican in here that I could be friends with?
Oh man, yo, you
So
definitely.
it's like
It's like the
survival
movies.
mode.
Yeah, it's like okay, now I gotta pick the group that I'm gonna be with, and gotta find.
Hmm.
Yeah, you gotta make friends with people that are kind of in power, huh? And
Yeah. And
man,
it's like your own world in there. You have your own drama, worried about like commissary, just like your own little world in there. Like, you don't know, like I had to do 7 days. I got like a DUS charge at like Torrington. Like it's so I don't know, maybe this time is different because I wasn't using, but like I was just like really chill. Like I didn't have to worry about feeding my kids, making sure they went to school. So it was like kind of on a weekend vacation, which sucked. I had to do it in jail, but
yeah,
it was nice just like it wasn't nice. I'm sorry. It wasn't nice, but just to like know that I'm gonna get through this. This is stuff that I have to take care of. Like, you know, I had to get through a lot of things to be like where I'm at. I had to face all my consequences. Now I'm on probation. I'm on probation for like 3 years. So I definitely still have accountability to hold up, you know, and that's kind of also like with the DFS, like I have not filed the UA since May of last year for them. So like that's my accountability a little bit too, to be like I'm very good if you say like Kendall, you can't do it, like watch me. I really am gonna do it. I think I have that too. Like
yeah.
you don't think I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
Good. Yes, I think you're gonna do
Yeah.
it. You're gonna do it. I think you're gonna do it too. You've had enough.
Yeah,
You know.
thanks.
Yes, enough.
Enough is enough. Yeah.
Enough. Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're rocking it. Congratulations on how long you've been.
Thanks.
Your 1 year and the Sunrise. It sounds like the Celebrate Recovery is really doing some big things here in Torrington. So shout out to them, man. That yeah,
Yes.
yes, and we need stuff like that. We need stuff like this. It's a problem. People have problems and they need help. And I'm glad no everybody that I've interviewed is not ashamed to tell their story, because your story is gonna help somebody, and it's something different than what I've interviewed. My past interviews, and it's gonna help somebody to have courage and maybe do the same and allow me the chance to interview them. So and I
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, I'm down for if like, you know, if anybody is struggling, you can put out my name to them and I'm here if it like if anybody needs a support person or whatever, like the more people that you can be like, hey, I know this girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so put my name out there,
Eh,
even though you're gonna put it out there anyways, but
yeah. And same, with me. Like if anybody wants to be on here and has a story that they want to tell, and just leave a message, and we can get something going. Because I do believe the more of these we do, the more of a movement we're gonna have. And once I stop being so busy, Candle.
yeah.
I,
And I was getting like angry with you. I'm like, okay, dude, like you get me mentally prepared and now we're rescheduling. And now we're rescheduling. Like,
oh, you're like
call me when you're ready.
I'm the verge of freaking relapse here. That's how bad I was.
Well, okay, okay. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? What am I saying? Like, oh, we're not doing it. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm
No.
glad. I'm thankful that we got it done.
Yep.
And
Me,
yeah,
me
I hope
too.
my story helps others for sure.
It will. It will. And do you have anything you want to say to anybody else? Anything other than what you said about reaching out?
Um,
Any advice?
I think you just gotta see God. Like, it's not funny, but it's the truth. Like, really, like I asked him to take my addiction away, and he did, and I'm free. I'm so free now. So I'm so grateful for the grace of God. Like I really am.
Good.
And I think if people do struggle, they need to find him. And if, or whenever they're ready.
Yeah, yeah. Seek them. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Well, you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed being on here, and
Yeah.
I hope that maybe we can get some more people on here, guys, and just reach out. And thanks again, Kendall.
Yes. Thank you, Dane.
You bet. Have a good one.